Hello there, today I'd like to tell you all the basic information you need to play Machiavelli the Prince Enhanced Edition. Basically everything you need to start your merchant career. Let's start with a new game of course. I think most things are self-explanatory. Here we can choose who our opponents will be, what difficulty they will be on. We can choose their starting position, what will they have, how much money and how many units do they have at the start. We can choose for how long the game will go. We can choose the storms and pirates, are they common, are they, well, basically how often they appear. We're going to go with average, of course. And most importantly of all, I think, you have the choice between the historical map and the random map. In my experience, random map will be far more difficult. But for the purposes of this tutorial, we'll stick to a historical map. I will show you the first turn of the game, and then I'll kind of skip around to different important events and such. First you can choose the name and your crest. And now we get to the game itself. As you can see, we have some idea of how the world looks like, but be advised, this is not very accurate. The cities can be moved, this can be completely different than what you actually see here right now. We haven't explored this area yet. We start with a ship, so let's start with moving it. Actually, before we start moving it, we want to buy something. We don't go with empty cargo. Now what to buy first? We always start at Venice, so it's kind of easy actually. We can get some glass, that's a very good choice I'd say, especially for a ship. We can also get fish, but going on water, we probably encounter another port city where they also sell fish, and that may not actually get us any money. But for now, let's just buy some glass, and let's start moving in a direction. Now, you can see, well, I maybe not a good example, but our ship will try to stay to the near the coastline if it can, because going into the open waters risks encountering storms. And we have found Rome, interestingly enough. Oh, we can actually reach it in this turn, but regardless, we have another ship. Let's do the same thing here. Let's buy as much glass as we can, and let's try and move in the other direction. Let's see. As you can see, well, in this case, it doesn't have much choice, but it is trying to stick to the coastline, as I said. Now, before we end, let's go to Venice and talk about one important thing, buying new units, our trade units specifically. Now, we can split them into two categories. We have the land ones, the camels and donkeys, which are very simple. Basically, if you're going to the desert, you want camels. If you're going to mountains, you want donkeys. Now, as for ship, it's a bit more complicated, although as you can see, we mostly have to differentiate between galleys and cocks. And here is the thing. Galleys are faster, they will have smaller cargo, they will be cheaper, but they can move into small rivers. And that's the very important thing. Especially at the beginning, we want the speed to explore, and the ability to get into rivers is just, well, we need that to get into those rivers. And we don't know where the cities will be. If we buy a cog, not only will we be exploring slower, but we won't be able to go into these rivers. So we might just miss out on opportunities. So first, we definitely want to buy galleys. But there's another thing to consider, our current wealth. We don't want to just buy a ship and then have it sit around. We want to fill it up with cargo and have it go somewhere. In our case, I'll buy a donkey because I want to explore inland. And yes. Alright, we have encountered a city which refuses to trade with us. They deny us trade access. Now, we could, well, in future, bribe them with a lot of money. That's a good thing we can actually see their goods so we can figure out if it's actually worth it. Alternatively, there is also an army here. So actually, once we go to Venice, we can actually see Campaniles. We can there are currently none because we are still at the very beginning of the game, but we could have mercenaries there and use them to fight with them and force them to open the port. But again, we'd have to pay for the mercenaries who are powerful enough to defeat that garrison, and we have to pay upkeep for those mercenaries, so it may not be worth it. Oh, and here we have an interesting event. We have found the remains of a Saint Gibson here. Basically, this just means we get some money, but yeah, a pretty cool event. And here might also show you how selling works. I just click on sell all. Of course, I could move singular goods if I wanted to, and now I need to pick what I want to buy. I could get ivory here, just a little bit, but we will get some wheat. It's very cheap here. In fact, another important to show, the commodities button. You can get here through a few ways. I'll show you the other ones sooner, but basically, we can choose a good, let's say in this case wheat, and we can say how much each city pays. This will be very helpful when establishing your trade-offs, which we'll be doing very soon actually. But basically, this way you can easily compare the prices. Of course, you want to make sure you're buying and selling both ways, so you don't have an empty trip where your cargo holds hold literally nothing, and you only go to have goods transported one direction. So it's important to take that into account. So usually we'll true goods, for example, we can buy here some wheat in Cairo, and we could, for example, get some grog in Rome. And with that, we have a profitable trade route going both ways. In fact, I will set this trade up this trade route automatically, because that's another thing. For now, we were exploring, so it was fine, we were doing everything manually, but now we want to just some ships to move around and constantly give us some income, so I'll do that next turn. For now, however, to have a trade route, we will need to have some ships that can actually do that. So again, we'll go to units. What do we pick? Well, actually, we could use a cog in this case, because the river is quite large, but I think we will stick to a galley for now. We will buy it, and another thing, you can buy units, you don't need to buy them in Venice. We can choose the city where they will be bought. In this case, we'll buy them in Cairo. I will also buy a camel to explore the deserts, but yes, I will show you how I'm establishing the trade route soon. Alright, a different way you can get to the commodity screen is through here, clicking on this book, display ledger and commodities. In this case, I will look for where we can sell our relic. It seems Rome is a great place to do that. Florence would be even better. These ones refuse to trade with us, so we'll go with Rome. But now the question is, what can we bring back here? To Antioch. I guess grog is good, so that's exactly what we'll do. And with that, we have an opportunity. I don't really see any reason why I shouldn't do it, so let's set up a trade route now. A slightly different than I intended. Choose our cities first. We want to go to Antioch, then to Rome. In Antioch, we will buy relics. In Rome, we will buy grog. And that's it. We're clear done. And now the ship will perform this trade automatically. Of course, it will take a few turns before it reaches the target, but yeah, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And sure, I guess I promised to show this example, but this basically will work very similarly. We will choose our target. We want to buy wheat in Cairo. Then we want to go to Rome. And then we'll buy grog. And again, another trade route done, another passive source of income, you can say, but we don't have to do anything. Right, and we have another interesting situation here. I would like to sell these relics here, but unfortunately we have already met the demand. The thing about relics is that while they are very highly priced, the demand isn't very high. So in this case, when I click sell the button, I can actually do it. What we can do, however, is buy a warehouse space here, for 250 florins in this case, to open up some space and have our relics here, wait to be sold. As you can see, they will now be sold whenever there is an opportunity. This helps with cases where we have, well, like this, where there is a very pricey good, but the demand isn't very high. Or, alternatively, it can also help when you're moving very long distances. So you transport a lot of goods at once, but I guess it's very similar in the case. Lower demand, but then before this ship, in this case, well, I guess Antioch isn't very far away, right? But if we were, let's say, moving ivory with ships somewhere around here, I guess, currently undiscovered, then it takes a very long time for us to do that trip. So we want to sell everything here, but again, we'll probably bring more goods than there is demand for. So in that case, we would also want to get warehouse space. Another thing about buying units is that we can actually buy more than one at once. So in this case, I want to establish a pretty large trade route. So I will buy 2 camels. There's already one here, but I want even more. As you can see, we can buy them, and they will now be bought as a group. Now, next turn, or actually, possibly, we could maybe establish it now. So we now have, I guess I'll wait for the next turn, and then I'll show you. Now we have a very important event coming up. Next turn is the Dodge election. There was also a paper election, but I'm not going to talk about that now. Let's start with our camels anyway. So we want this group. We want them all to be together in one group. That's the first step. We now have a new group with 3 camels. And now we want to establish a trade route with them. So they will start here, and they will move to Cairo. I've already checked the prices of goods. So now, what do we want to buy? Here, we will buy ivory. Actually, a bit differently. Ivory and a bit of gold. I guess in this case, maybe something like this. But there we get one more thing. We want this trade route to be protected. We are transporting valuable cargo. We're moving through, well, maybe not very large, but still a large stretch of land. We want this to be protected, so we will also get some guards. As for Cairo, we just want to buy wheat there. But here's the thing, we've just selected all of this just for this one unit. We have to repeat this process for all of them. It's very important. You don't want to have a caravan where only one unit is actually carrying something. And yes, we repeat this for the third one as well. This will be a very profitable trade out, as long as nothing bad happens. Let me just quickly check. Oh yeah, I want a guard here. And yes, we are done with that, and we have another automatic trade route set up, this time a much more profitable one. Here we have encountered a bit of a problem. It seems that the trade route we set up here cannot be executed because there is not enough goods. In this case, we will actually cancel. I guess we can find a different use for this ship, maybe to explore somewhere. I see, the problem is we don't have enough money to buy this anymore, unfortunately. Well, yes, we just started this new trade route. So what you're actually gonna do is just wait here. Yes, with empty cargo, just wait here until we have enough to buy it. And then I will just make this trade, but I'm not gonna show you that. But what matters now, we have the Dodge election coming up. Oh, and it's actually terrible, we don't have money. So I'll show you a terrible mistake then, but still, I guess you'll get to learn on this. So here, let's look at the Dodger's Palace, and as you can see, it's currently just the neutral party. We have, however, one problem. We don't have enough money to actually bribe anyone. This is extremely important to do, actually, because by having just one senator, we ensure that we will get one spot on the council. And now, let me tell you about these spots. The first one allows you to accuse senators, basically just to kill them. It will help if they have lower popularity, which I will tell about in a second. The next two basically give you armies. One is more land-based, one is water-based. Basically, you just get an army. And the final one gets you... Basically, it's a road constructor, something like that. So you get money to build roads, basically. And the thing to remember about these posts is that if you don't spend money on these things, actually, for example, if you have the road constructor, you get the money, but it doesn't force you to build roads. So you could just take the money and don't do anything with it. But people will not like that. That will cost you your popularity. As you can see, the other race didn't actually buy anyone either, although they might change this turn. But yes, apart from that, well, I mentioned popularity, or the accusation mechanic. Well, still, if somebody is popular, they're probably not going to believe your accusations anyway. But fortunately, we have the Den of Inquinity here, where we can buy a slanderer, pay him to slander somebody's name. This will help with our accusations. There's also an arsonist. He can be bought to destroy villas, which again, is something I'll show you in a second. And he can also be used to destroy your enemy's warehouses. There are villas and warehouses. And there's of course an assassin if you really need somebody dead right now. But since I mentioned the villa, here at the clock tower we can spend money to basically increase our popularity. I would say the villa is most important because the other ones, well, except the church maybe, are affected by the villa. So once you upgrade your villa, it will basically boost these things. And at the very last upgrades, you basically get popularity. Your popularity increases every turn. So I would say villa is the way to go if you want popularity. Right now, I don't have the money for that, unfortunately. I don't have money for anything, basically. Unfortunately, because of this new trade route I started, could be a mistake, especially on the part that I don't have anyone as a senator, so I'm not gonna get anything. Right, and oh, speaking of building the roads, here is the button to do that. You can build them. One thing to note is, for one, it costs a lot of money, for example 500 right now in the mountains. It's a bit cheaper if it's a different type of territory. One thing about them, anybody can use them. You pay for them, but your enemies will be able to make use of them as well. So be careful with that. Oh, and it seems like our main caravan was attacked by brigands. Let's see how they'll handle this. Okay, it seems pretty much nothing happened, which is good for us because it means we continue to trade. Oh, finally, there's one more place I want to show you, which is the Saint Mark Church. Here, we can buy cardinals. They will give us a bit of money thanks to the indulgence rate. And when we have enough of them, and the Pope happens to die, we can get somebody who favors us in that position and use these three things here to support us even further. Adding cardinals also gives you money, by the way, just like a clarification here. And in fact, we do have some wealth. My trade of ivory and gold finally actually brought some profit. But I think what I really need this time is to use the opportunity, because as you can see, these bars here, they show their loyalty. So buying this guy will cost way more than buying this guy, for the same percentage of success, of course. Anyway, we can finally get someone. Although it's important to note, these guys can die, they can be assassinated, they can die of natural causes, or they can be accused of treason and executed. So it's a good idea, even if we don't want to necessarily win the Dodge election, it's a good idea to have a few more, especially since... Oh yeah, you can only bribe twice per turn, by the way. Yeah, good thing I totally remembered that. Also, we can finally check out the mercenaries. So, for example, we have some Venetians here. As you can see, yeah, we can't these ones because they are in a city which refuses to trade with us. We don't really have much of a choice. We can either buy in Marcellus or in Venice. We don't really need them right now, but as you can see, they're gonna cost about 2,000 in this case for these armies, and we also pay 660 for upkeep, so yeah. Again, if you want to actually defend your trade routes, it's, I think, much better to just invest into guards, because one, it will be cheaper, and two, often, especially let's say we get ivory trade, so around here, we move all across Africa's coast, and here, where are you gonna position your mechs? The pirates can attack anywhere. I was actually literally in a situation where the pirates appeared here in the river. I sent my mercenaries there, or I think it was the fleet I actually got from the admiral's seat as a dodge. But then, before my fleet arrived here, the pirates suddenly reappeared here, so I was never actually able to catch up with them. But yeah, we have roads, display the map of the world, exploration, we got trade routes. I think we pretty much covered everything. Alright, I think I've showed you everything I wanted to, so for the last thing, I'll just show you how a, let's say, an example turn looks like. Okay, so it seems we discovered the bones of St. Daniel. Okay, interesting. Then we see the automated trade happen. So all of the trade routes I set up, they'll happen on their own. And here we encounter some of my units that we're exploring, so in this case, actually you can buy more. Yeah. Interesting, we can get more of these furs, and actually we can make a group because there's another another donkey here, so he can do the same thing. So you can see furs here are very cheap. They typically go for at least 200. Now it's just a matter of bringing them somewhere we can sell them. We have more automated trade. The order of units depends simply on when you bought them. Oh, here is my main trade. And here the ship finally manages to bring some ivory through a sea route. And the question where to sell it. Oh, this is actually a pretty good place. And you will even reach it this turn. Is there anything you can buy here? That's another thing. We can buy silver. But the question is, do they want silver here? And they actually want silver here. Okay. In that case, that gives us an opportunity to set up another trade route. It is a bit risky since it's quite long. And we don't really have any guards or anything as such, but I think it's pretty fine. And here we also have, will we start a trade route? Maybe not necessarily. Here we can get some gems and a bit of ivory too. Yeah, and honestly, you're probably gonna go the same place as that ship. Yeah. This area is a bit annoying. I don't know the turn yet. This area is a bit annoying because you have such a long way going here, but because of these smaller rivers here, you can actually use the largest ships for this trade route. And yeah, let's actually go to Venice and just look at the stuff we can buy. So we have the mercs, I already showed these. We have the cardinals, I guess I have some money right now, so we could buy a few. And potentially, I'm not sure it will be enough. Now there's too many in France, I think, so I doubt if we'll get to have a pope that supports us, but still. We can also, I don't really need to do anything here. We could maybe, as you can see now, they've already got their senators. There are no cheap ones to bribe anymore. So for the last thing, we can spend some money on our villa. And this also, as you can see, added popularity for us, which has its uses. But yes, I think that's pretty much it for what I wanted to show you for the basics. Oh wait, actually, since I just happened to see it, as you can see here, some of our enemies decided to get access. Oh, if I'm an owner, so they must have sent an army here to capture this place, and they allowed access to this guy. We still remained unable to trade here though. In fact, there's a lot of cities like that refuse to trade with me here. I don't know, I don't remember this being usually the case, but again, there's some randomness to this. But yeah, thanks you for watching, and if you want to see more, like and subscribe. Bye! Oh, I guess I do have a few more things to show you, so unfortunately, with the event, one of my cardinals has died. But what I actually wanted to show you... Oh yeah, automatic trade, I forgot about that. But yes, I'll show... What I actually wanted to show you is that some of our enemies have started to make roads here, which will actually hopefully assist our trade as well. Yeah, just wanted to show that.